Here's your Pinpoint Weather 12 forecast.
Well, two kinds of flooding on the way, of course, the one being the heavy rainfall, freshwater flooding, but also flooding due to the tide and an astronomical high tide and coming onshore with a strong onshore wind, so some coastal flooding. But looking at rainfall again, a quick review, 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain over an 8-hour period. That is a lot of rain for saturated grounds, for neighborhoods that still have standing water, rivers that are still swollen, strong wind gusts along the coastline, and that coastal flooding. I want to highlight the coastal flooding first. Coastal flood warning for the areas in red. And notice it's not just the exposed ocean areas, but up Narragansett and up Buzzards Bay as well. So the tide's high at around 9 in the morning. Look at the wind direction. Strong onshore combined with the high tide pushing that water up the bay. So even as far north as Fox Point and Providence, minor to moderate flooding anticipated. So big waves crashing over the seawall down at Narragansett Town Beach, for example. Gusts along the coast, 55 to 60. These peak winds are going to occur during the early morning hours. Looking at just the South Shore and the bay as far as coastal flooding, even some scattered power outages possible. In the meantime, we're cool and quiet. It's in the upper 30s to low 40s right now. 41 in Providence, New Bedford at 42. Threat tracker pre-dawn Saturday through early Saturday morning. From roughly midnight through about 9 a.m. Heavy rain, strong wind gusts, and some flooding by daybreak. Early in the morning, still stormy through about 9 a.m. Coastal flooding, very windy, some neighborhood flooding as well. And then things improve during Saturday afternoon. In fact, the sun will come out, but even with improving weather, lingering flood impacts will continue throughout the day, even though the weather itself will be improving. The rain just on our doorstep now, approaching New York City. You can see it right in here. This is tracking north and east. When we take this into the future and watch the time bar, you can see the widespread rain and wind on top of us during the overnight hours, wee hours of the morning. Here it is at 7 o'clock in the morning, strong wind and some heavy rain, but watch how rapidly it pulls away. Second half of the day, the sun is coming out, gusty, dry. Temperatures actually fairly mild in the 50s, and then clear, dry, breezy conditions for tomorrow evening and into tomorrow night. Rainfall totals, the forecast hasn't really changed, unfortunately. Still looking at 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain. And look at the maximum rainfall total in this darker purple. It's lined up along the I-95 corridor. Unfortunately, it's lined up along the Patuxent River Basin. So while these rainfall amounts not as high as the last storm, this is still very significant, and flooding, renewed flooding, unfortunately, is likely. So during the pre-dawn hours, while most of us are asleep here, it's a windswept, heavy rain, neighborhood and street flooding occurring by the time we wake up early in the morning. Still stormy through about, I would say, 9 a.m. And then it's a rapid shutoff by 10, 11 o'clock. The rain comes to an end. Temperatures unseasonably mild. And then during the afternoon, a mix of clouds and sunshine, gusty. Cooling down later in the day, looking at temperatures dropping to the 40s by 5 o'clock in the evening. All right, 7-day forecast. Colder but dry on Sunday, Martin Luther King Monday, sunshine, colder 33. Winter returns next week. Look at the temperatures, sharply colder, even the potential for some accumulating snow in the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. So stay tuned. In the meantime, a storm likely overnight, early tomorrow morning with flooding and scattered power outages.
All right, Tony, thank you.